Why do I gasp every time? Hey, good evening. Good evening. Welcome back to our 31 day challenge. It is day 9, and guess what, y'all? It's July 10th. So, yesterday was my birthday, and I fell into a little bit of inconsistency, okay? Yeah, yesterday was my birthday. The day was full, jam-packed. I knew, I had already told myself, if we're going to be consistent with our lives, you should probably do your live in the afternoon between brunch and dinner so that you don't have to worry about it. You get it done and then proceed with your day. But then I told myself, we'll be done with dinner far before 12 o'clock. By the time I get home, I can hop on, do the live. I didn't get home until 11:45, y'all. How? Dinner was at 7 and I got home at almost 12 is beyond me. But we're here. So when I got home, I had the kind of hard decision of, okay, do I just hop on and just do something for like 5 minutes just for consistency's sake? Just to, that was a hard word to get out. Consistency's sake. Just to say that I did it today and get day 9 out the way and stay on track? Or is that not being a good steward of the platform? You know what I mean? Is that me like trying to achieve something fleshly just to say that I like stick? Because mind you, I'm a recovering perfectionist. So it's like, I don't want to skip a day. I want to make sure that I stay on track with what I said I was going to do. But it's like, at what cost? Like, you didn't really talk to God today about what you were supposed to talk about. You just about to hop on here and just say, hey, happy birthday to me. All right, good night. So it wasn't, when I like thought about it, prayed about it momentarily, it was like, no, like, you're not supposed to just get on there just to be getting on there. You need to get on there because you have spent time with God and he has helped you plan what you're supposed to be doing on there. Being a good steward of the platform. So we missed yesterday, but we're back. And because of that, I'm talking so loud. Because of that, I have a lesson for us today called the cost of consistency. The cost of consistency. So after yesterday's missed live, I also talked to one of my friends today about one of the last things that God told her to do, that she knows that she needs to be, she feels like she doesn't have clarity about what's coming up next. But then as I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I know this has to be spiritual. Like, this is definitely beyond everything is spiritual, but just all the blocks that she's getting, like, it just don't make no sense why she keeps hitting this ceiling. And I'm like, this is spiritual. What is going on? Like, what do you have going on that is causing this blockage? And then she gonna proceed to tell me that she know what the last thing that God told her to do was. So then I was like, well, do it. Do it. So all that to say, we talked about what the next thing God had told her to do was. It was just a matter of, she's tried it before, and I was like, well, were you consistent with it? Because she felt like she tried it before and wasn't seeing any results. And I was like, well, were you being consistent? Not really. So we got on this whole tangent about consistency. Oh, I like this little, it's trying to do a little wave. Okay, I'm done. Sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry. We got on this whole tangent about consistency, and that kind of reminded me of like how I was so worried about being consistent yesterday, but at what cost? At the cost of stewarding my platform correctly. You know what I mean? Is it worth being consistent to be just putting anything out on your platform? But then there also is a cost to not being consistent. So the cost of consistency. 3 key components that I took away from me and my friend's convo today for consistency is 1, self-discipline. 2 is scheduling and time management. My goodness, that's a huge one. Scheduling and time management. And 3 is follow through. So those are 3 things. And mind you, like I said, on this platform, if I'm talking about something, this is something that God is dealing with in me real time. So those are three things after today's convo that I really want to focus on for the rest of this challenge, one for the rest of this month, because the YouTube lives is like just a slice of the pie of things that I'm trying to execute on, that I feel like God is like giving me in my heart to do. I'm not like naturally ambitious at all, and I usually don't have things that I'm striving for. So when I feel like something's been laid on my heart, I usually know it's not of my own like thinking or desire, because I just really don't, I'm not like a ambitious person, and I'm okay with that, because I think that's a safer place to be sometimes than being overly ambitious, but we'll talk about that on another live. But anyway, self-discipline, scheduling and time management, and follow through are a few things that I'm definitely going to be keeping at the forefront and trying to make sure I'm incorporating in my everyday and every week life. That means making schedules and sticking to them. That means especially being consistent with my quiet time. That means just having a routine. Since I have so many things that I'm trying to do simultaneously, I have to have a scheduled out system. So here's some Bible to go with this. 1 Corinthians 15:58 says, y'all, we have lived in 1 Corinthians this July. I'm telling you, this was a good book chapter. Book. It's a book. 58. It's got 58 verses. That's a lot. Therefore, my beloved, be steadfast, immovable, always excelling in the work of the Lord, because you know that in the Lord your labor is not in vain. Be steadfast, immovable, always excelling in the work of the Lord, because you know that in the Lord your labor is not in vain. So sometimes when you're being consistent, y'all, even after just 8 days of this live, I am not gonna lie to you, your girl has started to grow a little bit weary. I don't dread getting on here. This is a beautiful thing to be doing, and I love the fact that I'm being stretched to be this consistent. It can be not even like exhausting. I guess just tasking. It can be tasking to be consistent. Consistency, I don't think is like natural to us. It is getting dark, and I ain't got my ring light. I am so sorry, y'all. I don't think consistency is just natural. I don't think it's innate. So it can be tasking, and it takes intentionality to be consistent. So this is a good reminder that you know that in the Lord your labor is not in vain. So if he's calling you to do something, if he's calling you to be consistent in it, your execution of that is not going to be in vain. Galatians 6:9. Galatians. Galatians 6:9 says, oh, this is perfect. So let us not grow weary in doing what is right, for we will reap at harvest time if we do not give up. Yep, that's it. So then whenever we have an opportunity, let us work for the good of all, and especially for those of the family of faith. So let us not grow weary in doing what is right, for if we will reap at harvest time if we do not give up. I think that's self-explanatory. Another verse that I like is also in 1 Corinthians. I think it's 1 Corinthians 9. It's the last verse, or the last couple of verses in that chapter. And it talks about how people of the world, or it's talking about athletes or people that are like striving for something in particular. You know, they discipline their flesh, and they subject themselves to training and such, and they're doing it for a perishable prize or a perishable wreath. And basically Paul was saying we have all the more reason to do the same. We have all the more reason to discipline our flesh. We have all the more reason to bring our flesh subject to whatever we need to do discipline wise in order to run as if we want to win this race, because we are running for an imperishable prize. I kind of just butchered up that Bree translation, but go read 1 Corinthians 9. Y'all, it is getting dark. Let me try to put my computer light up here. My goodness, this is getting ghetto. The sun just went down so aggressively. But 1 Corinthians 9, the last verse, we're running for an imperishable prize. So let us discipline ourselves as such. So that's my prayer for us, is consistency this week. That also requires a lack of distraction, because we like to try to distract ourselves when we're called to be consistent. So yeah, that's my prayer for myself. That is my prayer for you all. And let me know in the comments if you have any issues with being consistent, and if you have any strategies to combat it. All right? Illy. Love y'all so much. See you tomorrow.